Hello, everybody. Welcome to our game, our 5th edition campaign that we're beginning. My name is Barker. This is Be a Better Game Master. For those of you who have subscribed to my channel for a long time, thank you very much. For those of you who are new, because you're subscribed to A Fistful of Dice, and I shamelessly shilled on his Facebook page, welcome. Hit subscribe or don't. It's up to you. Again, my name is Barker, and today we are starting a brand new campaign. This is session 1. Let's go around and introduce ourselves. I'm going to fire it off to the soothing tones of Matt Click.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so my name is Matt. I run the channel A Fistful of Dice. And do you want us to talk about our characters here, Barker, or you want us to just...
You know what? Go ahead and give a quick introduction to yourself and your character. Why not?
Okay. So my character that I'm playing today is Orin Bramble, and he is a forest gnome warlock, and he is accompanied at all times by his faithful friend Pebble, who is a pygmy owl that most of the time just sits on his shoulder. So yeah, looking forward to the game. Never had Barker as a GM before, but he is a better game master. So.
I was thinking that.
All right, and then round robin over to Tim, I guess.
So I'm gonna need more concept following Matt. I am Tim, and along with me today is my brother James, and we run the channel Tabletop Terrors, and I am playing the human bard Quintrek Coppermist, who goes by Quint. And that is all you shall know for now. And I'll throw it to James.
All right, I am James. I ride backseat to this Tabletop Terrorist train Tim's driving.
We all watch it for you, James. You know we watch it for you.
Yes. One guy said
Tabletop
I look
lazy!
Chris Pratt, and it made my day. I don't look like him at all. So my name is Gaharl, clanless. I'm a dragonborn cleric, and I seek retribution to a fault, which ought to be a lot of fun because I've got a big axe, and retribution usually means beheading. Yeah, I think that's the most important. I mean, we touched on the important stuff, so I'll pass it over to Cassie.
And before you do, I will say that, yeah, you do look like Chris Pratt. So.
Well, again, made the day.
You do a little bit, dude. I gotta say.
Damn you. Someone eject him from this game.
Chris Pratt and Alan Tudyk. We've got ourselves some spacefaring gaming going on.
Celebrities.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so my name is Cassie, aka Fox Cunning Trickster, at least via YouTube. Not that I have anything special, so don't bother. This is a lot like in college when you go around the circle and try and introduce everyone in your class.
Yeah, you go around the circle and try to introduce each other. That's what you do in a circle in college.
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't know what college you went to, but anyways, my character is Nymeria Forest Walker. She is a druid tiefling, and she's a new character, so I'm still kind of figuring her out. So there you go. She is not interested in wealth, and she prefers, you know, hanging out in the woods with animal buddies because a lot of humans aren't very interested.
Oh, James! James just muted Cassie.
Oh, it tells you. See, it's funny because
I hear her twice, and I cannot understand a word she's saying. So I muted her in here because I can hear her in real life.
Oh, an echo!
I was going to say, somebody is so dumped.
Oh yeah, I guess it's worth mentioning that James and Cassie are boyfriend and girlfriend. IRL.
Not for long after this.
What's a girlfriend? All right.
I have nothing to say to you.
We're gonna do a Tabletop Terrors video on that and introduce the audience.
I think she should join the group.
Yeah, right.
What?
But anyway,
she is our artist.
I have a sheet of paper. We'll see what comes out today.
Good.
See what happens.
Well, I'm going to show the viewers where we are playing. This is a homebrew world. Let me just do a little screen share thing. Let's try it. This is where my internet usually decides to blow up.
To go Tim Carney.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, not bad. First of all, I did not mean to put the Seahawks logo in that.
Yeah,
but,
right.
You know, but then again, I also didn't retake the picture without it in it. So, anyway, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Let me turn my mic so you can hear me. This is a homebrew world in the making called Ankea. And, you know, it's pretty big, and we are going to start this campaign in this area here. You'll see this mountain range that kind of comes down and up this way. You'll notice that there's really no mapping of any specific towns or geographical locations. I did that for a reason, because whatever happens in this game will go into this world. Also, let me stop sharing the screen. Also, for those of you who are subbed to my channel, I'm going to be making a video once a month about, or more than once a month, showcasing my preparation for this game. So you can watch the video for my preparation, and then you can jump in and watch the game and watch everything unfold and see how great or horribly it unfolds. Of course, that would mean my 4 stars here would not be able to watch those videos, but I trust them. Not Matt, but I trust the rest of them. So I think we should go ahead and get this started. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do this to save some bandwidth. Wow, can you take me seriously looking at that?
I thought you said you were
It
going
ain't
to make it so we couldn't see your weird face, but
I know, I can't. Dang it.
can't win, man.
You know, that's okay. Maybe I'll change the picture next time, but you know what? Okay. We're going to start this game, this tale, with the character of Orin Bramble. Orin, you've had this dream before. You always know it is beginning, because you cannot feel your hands. Now, this is not the magic of the arcane arts, or the vigorous gore of amputation. No, these are not the reasons you cannot feel your fingertips. It's actually the magic that has passed through tens of thousands of years, unnoticed. It is the magic of winter's chill. You open your eyes, as you predicted, of course, because, like I said, you have had this dream before. You open your eyes to see gray and brown soil and snow covering your hands. The numbness now spreading upward into your cheeks. And again, as you predicted, because you have had this dream before, you look up. Your eyes scanning upwards, and you see it. A vast forest of white-trunked trees, offset sharply by their crimson leaves. This is when you hear the voice. Wake up. 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 Oh, here he is. Here he is. Come on, eyes on me, man. Eyes on me. And you see him face to face with a pale human with freckles along his cheeks, red hair just sprouting out of underneath of what looks to be a brown wool stocking cap. And he says, "Hey, hey, eyes on me, friend. Can you see me?"
I look around kind of bewildered, and I look at this man, and I nod twice.
All right, good. Next question's very important for myself and these friends of mine, and he gestures toward a couple stout humans behind him in a doorway. You're in some sort of room built out of what looks to be woodwork. And you feel a little bit dizzy, but he says, "Okay, can you tell me your name?"
Is Pebble with me?
Yes, you look up, and Pebble is sitting on, or perched on top of what looks to be a bookcase, but it's completely empty, save for the dust.
So, am I seated in a chair, or am I standing?
Yes, you look down and kind of scan around you, and you are seated in a chair, and you feel that the only reason you're actually seated upward is because this man's hands are on your shoulders, kind of keeping you propped up.
So I sort of lean back in the chair and I look to Pebble and I kind of nod, and the owl kind of shifts its feet and looks at this man and says, "Well, he's Orin and I'm Pebble."
Holy whisker biscuits! Can you believe... Okay, all right. The bird talks. Okay, talking bird. I can do this. And he kind of squares off against the bird, holding his hands up like, okay, all right. The bird talks. Orin what?
Orin Bramble is his name.
Woohoo! He kind of lets out this celebratory screech while his friends behind him just kind of look defeated. He says, "You owe me 2 shillings, Randall. 2 shillings, and don't you try to get off at Lannisport. I know you. I get my shillings." And they kind of wander out down the hallway, and he says, "All right, okay, friend." And he's kind of looking at the bird, at the owl that's talking for you, and looking down back at you, and kind of confused, not sure who to speak to. So he kind of does both simultaneously. And he says, okay, so first things first, the basics. You have been asleep for about a week and a half. And he holds up a slender vial, a glass vial with just a bead of green liquid at the bottom, kind of shakes it and says, slumber potions. And you're aboard the Reach, headed to Salin.
I kind of visibly get angry, and as I do so, kind of in sync with me, the owl ruffles its feathers and takes a couple steps forward, kind of looking menacing as a tiny little pygmy owl can look, and it says, "Asleep? Why have we been asleep for so long?"
No worries. Your memory should be coming back to you shortly. But basically, for now, you asked me to. I don't know why. Maybe like most folk who travel upon the ships, you didn't want to spend the week and a half awake and bored. It is a small vessel, but your companions are waiting with you in the excuse that we have for a tavern.
Pebble looks at Orin. They kind of exchange looks. Orin shrugs, and Pebble says, "We don't remember asking you to do this."
Well, you might not, but your memories, again, they should be coming back soon. Here, let me show you around. How about that? Maybe that'll spur some of your memories on. And can I get you a drink? Some of your Endergreen Reserve fantastic wines for a gnomish gentleman like yourself. And maybe some water for your owl here.
Pebble says, "We'll both have water."
Okay, no problem. We'll fetch it then. Right this way. And he kind of gestures out toward this doorway that's slung open. Your senses come to. You realize this is an incredibly boring room, but it's got some cots and bedrolls laying around, obviously used for the storage of sleeping people, or just a kind of a cabin.
So I'll come to my feet and I'll check my belongings, see if I have my weapons on me and my gear.
Great. Yes, everything that there's nothing missing as far as you can tell from your gear. And if you want to describe what your character looks like at this point as he gets kind of adjusted, that'd be great.
Yeah, can do. So Orin is dressed pretty simply and ruggedly. He's wearing road clothes, and they definitely have seen plenty of road in their time. Instead of wearing boots or shoes, he sort of has these leather wraps around his feet, almost like sort of rudimentary sandals, and he has a cloak that is kind of caked with mud and dirt thrown over his shoulders. And he doesn't have much gear on him. He's not carrying a ton of rations or anything like that, but he does have a small crossbow on his back, as well as a dagger and kind of a strange curved sickle blade tucked into his belt. And as he stands, he sort of pulls his hair back, and his hair is sort of dreadlocked, and he pulls it back and ties it tight behind his head, and he nods towards Pebble, and the owl takes flight and lands on his shoulder, and he looks at Pebble, and he kind of like wordlessly looks at Pebble for a second, and Pebble just says, "Right, I'll keep my eyes open." And then the two of them follow the man out the door.
Very cool. You as you step into the hallway outside of this door, your sickle sort like blade kind of dangling at your side, or you walk out, and the hallway is just very short and ends abruptly. There are 4 doors in the hallway, and you are standing in the doorway of one of them. There are 2 ladders. Let me just go back. Of the 4 doors, 2 doors are on each side of the hallway. And then there are 2 ladders, one in between either set of 2 doors on either side of the hallway, and they both go downward. He kind of, the man is in front of you, kind of scratching at his red hair, and he says, "All right this way, if you want to maybe refurbish that memory of yours. Into here." And he kind of points the way to this tavern that is on the ship. As you approach the door, you see a wooden carving upon it that gives a name of a tavern that would be aboard a ship. And you know what? I'm just going to throw that to you, Matt. What name do they call this tavern?
They call it the they call it the capsized carrack.
Nice. Capsized carrack. And I would like everybody else to do me a favor, knowing that you're in a tavern, jump into the chat box that our viewers can't see, but jump in there, and I want you to type in 3 words to describe what your character is doing in the tavern. So you might say, counting my money, or flipping a coin, something like that. So go ahead and type your 3 words, and that way we can just jump in and kind of create the scene for the viewers. The door creaks open, and you begin to remember the ship itself. It's not time, you feel, that has given you these memories. It's the smell. This place is not only a measly excuse for a tavern because of its size of what, maybe 150 square feet, a couple of tables, some chairs, and the bar is just set over in the corner, just basically a table. But the smell of the almost repulsive combination of wines and distilled liquors and tobacco, it's not meant to be, and it's something that immediately sparks into your memory. Yes, you are aboard this ship. I'm going to leave it up to you as to whether or not you chose to be, put into a slumber over the course of the journey. You walk in, and you see a fellow there that you kind of have to blink twice, sitting at the bar. The poor excuse for a bar, sipping a drink and looking just pissed off. And when you blink a few more times, you realize that it wasn't your blurred vision that was almost ruining or ravaging this person's face. This is him. This is one of the famous, one of the legendary Dragonborn. What do you do?
I keep my distance from him as I move through the bar, and I will kind of find a chair where I can both keep my distance from him, but also observe him. And I'm not doing so like sneakily. I will sit down at a table, hop up into the chair, and I put my hand up, and Pebble steps onto my hand, and I put him on the table, and then I sort of lean into the table, and I'm sitting there watching him, and as I do, Pebble turns around and likewise looks across the room at him and sort of squints. So he would just see this kind of wild-looking gnome and a tiny owl just sitting across the bar, just like blinking and looking at him.
All right.
As far
You're awake now, I see. None of that sleep juice for me, but what are you drinking? And how about that owl of yours?
I look down at Pebble, and the owl cocks its head and says, "Just water."
Wait. Which one of you is the adventurer and which one is the familiar?
Orin kind of shrugs. Pebble says, "We take turns." And then Orin kind of nudges Pebble with his finger, and Pebble says, "You said you weren't put to sleep."
It's not for me. I'll take any drink over that green nonsense any day.
Well, we can't exactly remember how we were put to sleep.
Well, see, that's what I don't like about it. I'd rather remember my my time on this ship, whether it's tiny and terrible. They got enough drink for me.
Orin nods, and then just kind of sits back in his chair and waits for his water.
The water. Once you said I'll just have a water, the barkeep, who's not really keeping the bar, hunched over, 5'4" tops. Although if you could break the osteoporosis, it'd probably be about a solid 6 foot. He's got a cane in his hand. He's using it with both hands though, but he does manage to bring you a small wooden goblet just filled with water. And right when he sets it down, your red-headed friend just walks in with 2 goblets of water and just kind of realizes he's too late, sets them down on the table, and for yourself and Pebble.
And Pebble just immediately sort of hops up onto the rim of one of the glasses and then hops into the water and starts cleaning and preening his feathers in the water and kind of splashing it all over the place. And Orin picks up one of the goblets and drinks quite a bit of it, having the worst case of morning breath in recorded history. He drinks pretty much all of the water and sort of inclines his head in thanks to the red-headed man.
He nods. Nymeria, I'm not sure how you feel about sailing. You tell me. What do you think?
I'm not particularly fond of it. I much prefer to have my feet firmly on the ground rather than being rolled along in this filthy little ship.
You've been inspecting your weapons for some time, but you know what? Taking a look at the close edges of your scimitar and kind of examining the handles of your quarterstaff, it's no longer helping the nausea. I'd like everybody to go ahead and give me a Constitution saving. You know what? Not a Constitution saving throw. I'm going to be mean. Give me a Constitution check, and whoever has the lowest number, just let me know who that is. Oof.
Damn, I got 19.
I rolled a natural 19.
15 for me, Barker.
Okay. Was that a 6?
Yes, that's a 6. That's a 4 plus 2.
Good. You take a swig of whatever it is you're drinking. What are you drinking, Mr. Clanless? Gaharl?
just the strongest stuff they got. It's just fire going down. They keep it in special barrels because the lining, it'll eat through the regular wood if they leave it there.
Great, great. More people actually drink from the all sorts barrel than from what they call the fire stew that you're drinking right now. Next to the fire stew is the all sorts barrel, which, of course, if someone doesn't finish their drink, they just top off the all sorts barrel, just toss it into that keg, and someone can go ahead and pay a shilling or sometimes even less and drink from it until they pass out. You begin to feel yourself getting choked up from this acidic, revolting, disgusting bile that's creeping itself into your throat. My question is this for you, and I'm sorry for the kids at home. Would you like to throw up in the bar, or would you like to go up the set of stairs, kind of in the north end of the tavern, outside onto the deck of the ship and over the side?
Well, I'm going to try to go over the side because as a dragonborn, vomit doesn't just come up. It usually is a bit of fire, and so it's not safe for anyone, and I really shouldn't be on a ship anyway with that sort of seasickness. So yes, I'm definitely going up the stairs as quickly as possible and over the side as not to kill us all.
Absolutely. You go up the stairs and you're greeted by just a fog. You see the deck of the ship. You see people kind of maneuvering around, doing assorted jobs. Hear some yelling, talking. It's beginning to sway. There's some winds around. But you manage to get yourself to the side right as the clouds break. And you just hurl over the side of the ship and just this smoky substance comes pouring out, and you see it fly and fall 500 feet down to the world below. You see that the airship is kind of flying over this tundra, icy location, and you are seeing the breaking of a forest. The scattering of a dense forest into small patches of crimson trees, and then the camera pans out over this landscape, and you see The Winds of Salin, executive produced by Michael Bay, based on the book by Stephen King, which I'm going to say that, so just in case the game ends horribly, then I have an excuse. So what are you doing, Tim, otherwise known as Quintrek Coppermist?
So where I was sitting in the bar before the Dragonborn went to puke would have been wherever the Dragonborn was most visible from every angle. Basically, if people can see him, they're not paying attention to me, and that's my process. That's my thought process. So if you could conceivably think of someone with a very high charisma, using it inverted to try not to be noticed. That's what I'm trying to do. So I am literally trying to blend in and look like scenery.
Very cool. And speaking of scenery, I'm just going to put this out there. I think I have elaborated enough on the scenery of this craft. So I'm just going to put it out to you guys to take and run with, and I'll jump in when I need to.
Awesome. So I would also see all of this going on, and I'm just going to try to, again, blend in. I hope that everyone thinks that I'm just a peasant passenger. Scenery. In fact, I'm going to pretend to be drunker than I am.
Cool.
I would actually. So, as far as Orin knows, he assumes that he's on the sea. So, would there be a way that he would sort of start to notice that he doesn't feel the waves sort of moving the craft around, and that he doesn't hear water kind of splashing up against the side of the hull or anything like that?
Absolutely. What other ships has Orin been on during his life?
Probably a few small coastal vessels. He probably hasn't been out in the deep ocean ever. He's maybe taken a few small boats sort of up and down the coast, but otherwise, nothing else of note.
Cool. Immediately you're reminded of the coastal ferry, the Quagmire, that you have taken on a couple occasions, and all of the chairs and tables are bolted down. And you notice that this is strange the moment that you kind of slide back in your chair and you realize it's not. At that point, you would realize, hey, this is no mere ship. We are in the sky.
And as I realize this, like, this kind of look of realization comes over me, and my eyes kind of go wide, and Pebble stops cleaning himself and looks up, and I kind of, like, grip the sides of my chair and just kind of almost like re-secure myself in the chair as I realize that I'm probably, hundreds if not thousands of feet up in the air right now.
One of our viewers said, hoping the ship doesn't capsize, and now that's like triple bad.
I hope we don't capsize and plummet to our deaths.
After having a couple drinks in the capsized carrack.
Yes.
That's all you meant.
And now, would I be able to notice this realization occur? If this man with the talking owl is even with, you said the room is what? Would you say like 150 square feet?
Yeah, really small. But
so tiny.
Yeah.
So would I be able to kind of notice this odd look as this man grips his chair, kind of sits up, and his owl kind of,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and I definitely don't try to conceal it. I'm just like, oh shit! Like, I just kind of have that look on my face.
Right, and so I think I would be kind of torn as to whether or not, and then finally I would kind of just stand up, trying to look as absolutely casual as possible, and then kind of just saunter over and just kind of nod, and then kind of lean in, and I wouldn't say it to the owl. I would actually lean in and I'd say, it's not as bad as you think once you get used to it.
As this is happening, as this realization is hitting him, I've just vomited over the side of what I'm remembering yet again. Is this just awfully... It's certainly not the best ship I've been on. So vomiting over the side, I think to myself, I sure hope it's not populated down there. And as I'm coming down the stairs, I realize that Orin is having this realization, and I'm walking down and coughing a bit after the retching. I say, well, you remembered why you took the sleep juice, huh? And I go ahead and order another fire stew. Are you sure you're sticking with water, or you want one of these fire stews?
And the owl looks at me and then looks at you and says, he'll have a fire stew. Yes, please.
There he is. Put some air on his chest.
After seeing the Dragonborn go running up the stairs to go vomit over the side of the ship, I can't help but feel a little extra nauseous, and for a moment cover my mouth with my hand, a little uncertainly, and thankfully don't have to go that far, as the dear Dragonborn. Sitting back in my chair, I finally look to the others, looking for any sort of distraction. I'm not a big fan of other people, but there's only one human, and this wild little gnome who had clearly just woken up with the owl. I can't help but look at him. And being a druid, I'm completely curious about this owl once I finally notice it's actually talking. And I turn over there, and I say, is that owl really talking?
The Pebble kind of hears you say that, and he kind of leans and looks past you, or looks past me and looks at you and says, yes, I'm talking.
never seen that before. I've never come across a familiar with that capabilities. Where did you come from?
Oh, well, I was a rock, used to be a rock in the Feywild, but then, Orin took me, and, I'm an owl now, so there you go. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that I used to be a rock. And Orin kind of nods to, say, yeah, that seems to make sense. And you, very quickly get the realization that, oh, he's kind of insane. Got it. Okay, right.
Well, if that's a real spell, I would love to learn it. I respond and I come over, a little tentatively grabbing the back of a chair before asking, do you mind if I join you?
Pebble looks at Orin, and Orin goes, and Pebble says, sure, why not? You two can too, to the Dragonborn and the human bard.
And so I would definitely take advantage of the fact that the people surrounding me are absolutely the perfect camouflage. There's no way people would care about a human bard next to the talking owl and the dragonborn. So I would take that opportunity and I'd say, excellent. Well then, what I will do is, how about this round's on me, and we'll all sit and we can have a chat and catch up. And so I kind of walk towards the bar and get whatever kind of round of fire stews I can for the group.
As you're bringing the fire stews back to the group and distributing them, you kind of hear a brash yelling coming from the hallway, and then kind of bursting in through the door is a bearded man, full-faced, Amish-like beard, with kind of a skull cap. He's wearing kind of a little bit of leather on him, and he comes in kind of dazed, rubbing his eyes, and he says, I think I heard buying around. Hope you're buying around for me and my friends. Hey, boys, come in here. It's the freak show. I told you they were here. And a couple more Weasley-looking characters come in after him, and one says, yeah, boss, the freak show, just like you said. And they begin laughing and kind of pointing at the tiefling, and I bet that one's a little fire starter, is what he says, and he kind of moves closer, and jokes begin flying throughout the room.
Oh my goodness. The moment they come in, she, of course, is very displeased. She is not a big, I'm not a big fan of people because of the whole, looking down on tieflings as these demonic halflings. Anyways, I glare at them and I can't help but grab hold of my quarterstaff a little bit, my fist tightening around it as I try to subdue the anger that is quickly flaring up, and my tail lashes a little bit, showing that displeasure as I try to ignore them and keep my mouth shut before I say something I might regret.
And seeing that, Pebble kind of saunters over and pecks at your hand, and he says, It's best to just ignore them. That's what we do. And Orin nods.
By the blood of Palor, a talking owl. Now I've seen everything. Hey, I wonder how owl tastes. I mean, these guys are just being complete jerks.
So Quint would kind of step between them with a huge smile and kind of push the drinks like, here you are, gentlemen. I do believe you mentioned a round. So here, drinks are on me, and here, drink up. And I kind of start handing the glasses around, and of the ones that were intended for the group, like, here, everybody. And in fact, I'm going to go get this tray filled up myself again here, and I'll be right back with a few more drinks, if you don't mind.
Do me a favor, Quint. I would like you to please make a charisma check. If you have, is 5th edition, is it diplomacy or persuasion? I forget.
It's persuasion and performance, I think, so depending on what you'd consider that.
I'd consider that a persuasion check.
Sure.
If you have it. Unless you want to be like, here you go, gentlemen, here's another round. Take it and drink up.
Take it and drink. All right, so yeah, I'll go ahead and I will do the. I'll do the persuasion.
They begin river dancing.
And yeah, like. This
whole thing is a music video. Okay.
I rolled an 11. I rolled an 11, but that is like my super duper expertise. Like I put every point I could in there, so I have a +8 to it. So that is actually going to be a 19.
Power gamer.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing I have any ranks in, really. You know. So.
The larger one begins kind of clearing his throat. Well, a drink sure beats a fight, and he kind of holds it up and says, "Boys, let's have a seat with our new friends."
Indeed, I'll be right back with the rest of the drinks, and you can in fact have my seat if that works for you. I think yes, excellent. And then I go and.
Does anybody love Tim's character more than I do?
Well, I was just gonna say he just stopped the first encounter of the campaign because as soon as they talked about eating the owl, Orin was just gonna go ballistic. But so everybody at the table sees that Orin was like his hand was already on his dagger at his belt, and as soon as like Quint stepped between him, he just kind of eased his hand off of it, and he like makes a little gesture with his hand, and Pebble comes over and hops on his shoulder to kind of be closer to him.
Nice.
And so as Quint is telling them, giving him the drinks and whatnot, I look over and I say, well, if we're drinking together, we're friends. Because I've never seen Palo's blood, but I certainly don't want to see yours.
He kind of shrugs his shoulders around, almost like a boxer getting ready for the third round of the fight. Yeah, what color's your blood? Do you even have any kinsmen that you can call your blood? This one hits home.
Shaken a bit, but I have learned that in close quarters, fire doesn't fare well, and we're just trying to get where we're going, so I look into my drink a moment, and I say, all this talk about blood, what about this fire whiskey? I'll drink you right under the table.
I don't think so. I drink everyone under the table. Man, that green shit really hurts. First to win, wins.
And at that, Quint places drinks before them, and he's just like, well, we know that the old tale goes that so before a dragon born is dead, his blood turns blue, then green, then red. So we don't have to find out right now. But first two on me, and whoever drinks them fastest gets the third.
I'm already halfway through the first one.
Nice. You got a head start. Oh, and he just chugs, and the Weasley characters, the squealy ones, the squirrely ones, are just kind of cheering him on, egging him on. And do me a favor, Mr. Dragonborn, and roll me. We're going to do a Constitution saving throw.
Alright, so these are new dice, and that's another 4, which gives me another 6. So I'm all talk at this point.
Okay, great, excellent. On an empty stomach, as you now have, that fire stew is, it gives acid reflux disease a whole new name. Let me tell you that. It hurts. I know. I'm old, like a beast. And you kind of choke on it a little bit. This one's gonna make his own throw, and you know what? You cheated, but he actually finishes before you, and he says, "Oh, you ain't much, dragon thing."
Well, I guess you get it, but it ain't gonna stop me from drinking.
He kind of stares at you and stares at his cup, and he feels like there was a joke there, but he's not, the brightest crayon in the box. So he just kind of grabs his friend's fire stew and just starts drinking that too. You hear kind of a subtle commotion outside on deck, and it's nothing bad, but a couple people kind of come down the stairs and say, including your friend, Orin, your redheaded friend. He says, "Hey, you want to come up and see this? It looks like the Reach's twin ship is on the horizon. If you want to see another airship, one that you're not on, I mean, it's amazing. Come on out, take a look."
Do the guys get up? The guys that came and drank with us, are they getting up to go see?
No. They're just kind of looking at their brews and drinking. And...
So I would like to. I have my drink. I would like to try and sleight of hand pour a bottle of ink into my drink without that guy noticing. Okay,
cool. Then you would make, correct me if I'm wrong, a dexterity roll using sleight of hand if you have the proficiency?
Yes, I do.
Dope.
So that is a 17.
Excellent. Very easily. This person is obviously not only is not the smartest person in the world, but is a little bit drunk on top of that.
Yeah. So I pick up my drink and pop the cork on this ink and just kind of pour it in and do a quick little like swirl mix, and then Pebble goes like he's trying not to laugh, and I walk over to this guy and I kind of nudge him on the shoulder and hand him my drink, and Pebble goes, "For you."
Oi, hey, well, thank you, sir. You're a better friend than I realized, and I'm sorry about my comment about your owl. Thank you very much.
And well, you're very welcome. And Orin and Pebble kind of exchange glances and then follow the red-haired guy.
Anyway, he just dives right in, man.
Perfect.
Drinking up.
I was trying to see if I had anything that I could pour in his drink, and I was like, "Oh, I have a bottle of ink. Perfect."
That's amazing. As you walk up the stairs and the mist is cleared somewhat, you see what looks to be an arcane magician utilizing two crystal balls set in front of him and just hyper-focusing on this. You know that this is what's called your Ventogator. This is the magician, the wizard, that uses these foci, so to speak, to create the wind, not only to propel the ship forward and utilize the sails to direct where it goes, but to create a swirling wind underneath, a wind filled with clouds and debris and now dragonborn vomit, to hold the ship upward in the sky so it doesn't go careening downward toward its death. You see some people looking through spyglasses across the horizon, and there you see it. A beautiful ship, sails of white with red, kind of some sort of red design. It's close enough to see some of the intricacies. But plain, but definitely pristine. And someone says, "Oh, it's the Wanderer, our twin ship. We pass it by every time, and it's one thing to stand aboard a ship, an airship, rather. It's another thing to see one with your own eyes from a distance. Would you agree, Sir Gnome?"
And Orin looks up at him and looks out on the horizon. And Pebble says, "Well, I like flying well enough, but Orin here, he isn't much for flying."
He doesn't say any more words. He just kind of stares at the owl once the owl begins speaking.
And then Pebble kind of leans forward off of his shoulder and looks down and says, "And actually, this is a bit high for me, too."
Righto.
have a wonderful trip. And he just kind of shoves his spyglass into Orin's hands. The rest of the group just kind of comes piling up the stairs, and unless you specifically want to stay in the tavern, and he kind of saunters off.
And before he leaves,
I'm definitely gonna walk up the string.
Before he leaves, Pebble says, "Wait, where are we going?"
Sir Salin. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Home of the dwarves. The hill dwarves.
Do you remember why Orin and I were going there?
Something about a job. We're not really told much. We do know that we had to make 4 trips before heading to the Dwarven lands. One for each of you. And he kind of motions toward the rest of your party.
And Orin kind of rubs his temples, and Pebble says, "Right, thank you."
And Quint would kind of come up near as that's kind of occurring, and he'd be humming a little tune to himself as he overhears, and he'd be like, "As Thomas vows on Sir Salin, the dwarven steel is melting." And you'll probably need another one of these. And he hands a fresh cup of water to Orin, and as he kind of does the cheers and kind of starts drinking his own and keeps humming.
Orin takes the water and inclines his head and takes a drink. And Pebble looks up at you, Quint, and he says, "Do you remember why we're all going to Sir Salin?"
"I've no idea, but I got one for you too." And I hold up another cup of water.
And Orin takes it in his other hand and kind of, he's drinking the one cup and he's holding the other cup over by his shoulder so Pebble can drink out of it.
Perfect. By the way, I'm not sure if I should introduce myself to both of you, or if it's the same if you're the same but different. In any event, my name is Quint.
Well, Quint, he's Orin, and I'm Pebble. Nice to meet you. And Orin extends his hand.
Pleasure to meet you both. And Quint would shake it. Pleasure to meet you. Wondrous thing, the talking owl. It's just amazing. I love it.
And Pebble kind of looks like his feathers kind of get bigger, like, yeah, I'm pretty cool. And Orin is kind of like, well, he's all right, like kind of doing this with his head.
I love it.
Okay, 1 second. I am doing this thing where I go back to the viewership. Okay.
Hey, it's Barker. I didn't know it was him.
Guys, the voice behind the barbed curtain. So you see this beautiful ship just kind of pass by, and you see mountains in the distance, snow-covered mountains. And Orin, you are taking notice as you look down. Actually, Pebble might take notice first of the crimson forest underneath you that is becoming dispersed. And running out of it is what looks to be a frozen river, just kind of branching off in different directions. And in one direction is a small settlement in the distance. And one person points at it and says, "Ah, Maror! That's where we're going." And then he starts saying, "Ship things. Hoist the something or other. Lower the something or other. Swindle the something.
Jibs and yeah.
Drop the things." And people start doing stuff on the ship. And yes.
Would we know where Maror would be? Is that a familiar location, or is that something that we'd have to roll for, or is it a pretty popular country or something?
I'll tell you what. You go ahead and you pick any intelligence-based skill on your character sheet, and everybody can pick whichever one that you feel your character would know more about and run with it and roll for it.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to roll nature based on the forest that this town is nearby and see if I might know a little bit of something about it because of that.
Okay. We'll do yours first.
Nope.
What was it?
It was a 5.
Lame.
Also, while everyone else is rolling, does this forest kind of look familiar to me? Do I get a little bit of deja vu looking at the crimson leaves and the frozen river?
Sure, if you'd like. Absolutely.
It definitely just it would probably remind Orin of his dream with the frosty crimson leaved trees and the frozen river and stuff like that. So he would definitely kind of hone in on that more than anything else.
Great.
As I stand near the railing, clutching my quarterstaff, a little uneasy about being so high in the air, I also look down at the forest, and unfortunately, also roll a 5. I have no idea where we are.
This is going to be awesome. You're lucky you have
Fives
a bard.
unite.
You're lucky you have a bard to stop all the combat encounters.
I was gonna say not so lucky because I rolled. My thought was I was gonna do a history check to see if I could think of popular plays or pieces of music or anything that would come from that place, and no, I rolled a 2.
Well, see, this is where I got you guys, because unlike most Dragonborn, being a cleric, I do a lot of reading, and I rolled a 21 history, because I feel like this is a bit familiar to me.
Ah, Maror. Maror is one of the 7 city-states in the land of Salin, run by Khan Baris, son of Khan Merrick. One of the 7 city-states that has constantly surrounded this woodland. In your history lessons, you have learned that this wood is called the Crimson Wood to those outside, and the Ander Wood for those from inside Salin. You also thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't know if it was supposed to be there.
No, that was pointed, David.
That's amazing.
That's all good. You also know that this land of Salin, while once a mighty hill dwarven kingdom, is now fragmented, almost deserted, and as you can see, looking down at the icy landscape, placid and cold.
And
Bit
so
chilly up here.
Yeah, I walk over to Quint and I say, so now that damn song's gonna be stuck in my head. So it's da 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 Sir Salin. Sir Salin sits on solemnly. Solemnly she sits in the hills of Salin. What are the words to that damn song?
And as the Dragonborn starts singing, like Orin and Pebble both kind of look up at him, just like, what the hell?
It's well, you're close, and everyone who sings it puts a bit of a different spin on it. I've learned 2 different ways. I learned an Elven way that was just terrible, far too high thinking. There's no music to it, and then there was another one that was dwarven, a little too guttural. I couldn't sing it, so I kind of just make up my own. So yours sounds good to me if you want me to sing it that way.
I just want you to sing it to get out of my damn head.
It's a bit more of a hum when I do it. See, it's kind of like you just hit the words you want them to stick, like right? And now that's going to be stuck in your head, and the word Salin will pop up. God knows what else I've said, right? It's a little trick I picked up, but anyway.
Yeah, as you start humming, you realize that the people around you, especially those who are most intoxicated, grasping the rails as the ride becomes bumpier and bumpier, heading down toward Maror. starts going, da da da, the Sir Salin, she sits upon Sir Salin, she sits, and tries to follow along as best they can. So you are accompanied by an extremely mediocre choir of this hum jingle as the ship is descending, kind of turning as it does, not quickly but slowly. You look down and you see a crowd is gathering outside of Maror, and you begin to see longhouses. The details of the settlement become more apparent. It's built not only on this river, but an actual, like a frozen lake, that the river runs into. There are parts of the lake that are not frozen, but they look kind of mechanically created, like as if created by living sentient beings. But you see this group of people, which as you get closer you realize are dwarves, most of them, kind of looking up, and they're surrounding this pool of what looks like almost crystal clear water, beautiful blue, and many of them are clapping, and many of them are just looking up in awe, and you get closer, and the ship kind of hovers about maybe 10 feet above the water, and you hear, "Brace yourselves!" Sploosh! And water just splashes up. It's up to you as to how wet you get. And the boat begins to kind of balance itself. And there's applause everywhere, all these people who have come to watch the airship land.
That's awesome. And as everyone's drunkenly kind of singing, I would just be going from person to person, kind of waving my hands like a conductor and kind of trying to mimic the words as they were saying their own little ones, like, no, 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 and like smiling and kind of just, so, yeah, yes, and just kind of really getting into it, like, no, no, see. And it's just this horrible cacophony of drunken, phlegm-filled, awful, but I'm enjoying it,
It's beautiful in its own way.
Right.
A ramp is created.
That's gorgeous.
Oh, go ahead.
So just gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah, kind of a small gate opens up along the side of the ship where the railing is. You kind of look back and you see this arcane magician just kind of leaning up against one of the foci. Is it foci or focuses?
I loved when you said foci. I don't know if that's a thing.
Yeah, the plural of focus is foci.
See, that's why we have you here, Matt.
That's the only reason I'm here.
Just rules.
Poke me when you need another plural form of a noun.
Awesome. Okay, so he's leaning upon one of the foci, and he's just looking exhausted. And this ramp has kind of been created in a makeshift way, just a couple of wooden boards leading down to this icy terrain, and rope is tossed overside, and it's tied to a post, and normal ship stuff for all of you naval viewers. I don't know ship stuff, and I know jet skis. If you ever want to hear about an air jet ski, we're good to go. An air sea-doo. And people start offloading, and the crowd just disperses. They obviously have zero care about you. They want to see the airship. There is one little girl. She is not too little, maybe about 12 years old, and she says, "Are you the heroes?"
Well, first off, once that ship lands, I come to the ramp and look at it a little uncertain, a little nervously, because there's nothing to hold on to, at least nothing stable, and I pretty much just run to the end of it, and once I touch land, I give a sigh of relief, glad to be on the ground again, even if it's icy and cold. I look at the little girl and give her a questioning look, But I decide to go along with it and say, yes, I suppose so. What's the problem?
Her eyes widen at you, and she says, "You're so beautiful." Yeah, does anyone else want to do anything kind of fun or interesting as you're walking off the ship? Anything of note?
Well, I'm arguing with a fellow. I tell him, "You mean I paid that much for the ride here, and you're not gonna carry my stuff off?" Okay, all right. I'll get it. Just all right, fine.
Get your dragon ass off my ship.
Stop dragging ass.
I was thinking it, but I'm not around.
All right, I think we're done for the night.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for tuning in, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Thank
you. Once the ship kind of touches down in the water kind of washes over the side of the guardrail, and Orin and Pebble both get soaked, and Pebble kind of shakes off his feathers, and Orin like wrings out his hair in his cloak, and he kind of like is aimlessly wandering around the deck of the ship, and when he sees Nymeria kind of going down the ramp, he kind of follows after her as sort of like I don't know what else to do. I don't know why I'm here. So he kind of wanders after her. And he's also kind of keeping his eye out to see if he can get a glimpse of that guy that he had drink ink before he gets off the ship.
You see him. You see him drunkenly smiling at all the people that are just looking at him. The blackest smile. You can see, the vague ivory behind the blackness, but he's got no clue. In fact, you see him just finish it off and toss the goblet aside and say,
"Everybody buys me a drink. I don't buy anybody a drink."
And he just lets out a huge black grin.
And I kind of like toss him a huge smile as I'm walking off the ship, and then I go and I stand behind Nymeria as the little girl is asking if she's the hero.
I would absolutely comment. I would walk down the ramp, kind of with my hands in my pocket, whistling that song kind of stuck in my head now, and then I would kind of chuckle to myself and I'd go, "Well, I do believe that fellow has scurvy," and then I'd kind of just saunter down the ramp.
I can't help but look at the little girl, surprised at what she said, and my tail curls a little bit, uncertain, but a little faithful, bashful. I can't help but say thank you. And again, I respond, so what's the problem? Why do you need heroes?
Her lip is just quivering. It's obvious she's never seen such a rare breed such as yourself before, as many people have that you've encountered. But it's amazing. This is one of the few that has responded with something positive. Most respond with fear, and she does the same with the Dragonborn. She does the same with Gaharl. She even does, to the point where the gnome, who's also rare, and obvious, of course, the human, they just seem boring. She doesn't even ask them if they're heroes. What? This guy hero? This guy whistling? He's not a hero. She says, Khan Baris sent me to pick you up and bring you to the Longhouse. And she kind of bundles herself up in this fur, and as this wind starts to kind of pick up, and she says, "Follow me," and she runs toward the center of this settlement. Does anybody want to do anything before jumping in?
So carrying my things, I walk by near where Nymeria and Orin are, and I kind of walk through them, talking to them. I say, "Bet your gold there's drinks there. Let's go."
And as before she scatters off, as I was kind of whistling and kind of watching everything happen and so on, I would have tried to pluck up any, I don't know, is there any kind of wildlife here at all? Or is it just barren, white, ice, snow? Or are there even sticks or grass or any kind of twig or flower, anything like that?
You know what? No, extremely little. You see some fishing boats off the kind of the coast of that icy lake, so you assume that maybe fish might be something that you would presume would be something that's eaten here. But you know what? Since it's Dungeons and Dragons, give me a perception roll. I'm not going to give you the answer to that question. You ask me like I'm just going to tell you. If you like it, you should have put a ring on it.
Yeah, I don't know. How does a...
This is a game. There are rules.
I forget.
Rules. Who knows the rules?
I'm trying to.
My perception.
Yeah.
What's that?
Oh no, I was saying that I'm creating a game called Barker Stat, which is just no rules at all. But occasionally, if you want to roll dice, you just tell me what you just roll whatever dice you want, and you tell me if it's like good.
That's amazing. It's like Calvin Ball for D&D.
I thought when you first started talking about it that everything would be rated in a number of barkers. So like you would have like I have 5 barkers in strength. Like you roll the die and you're like 17 barkers.
That's the only difference.
Yeah, it's like exactly the same as D&D except you just add barkers to the end of everything.
There can
What's
only
your
be
barker
one
class?
barker.
Yeah, I'm a fighter barker.
Oh yeah. What's your flat-footed Barker class?
Oh, God. You're giving me ideas, gentlemen. You're giving me ideas. What did you roll in perception?
D&D and Barker.
So in the wake of all that, I actually rolled a whopping 7, and that's with my modifiers.
You know, you're lucky you noticed the boats, but no, you don't see much wildlife here. You see, It's placid. The ground isn't completely white. It's kind of this mixture of white and gray and soily brown, and some splotches of red occasionally, grassy splotches. But for the most part, it's very cold and very boring, very blank.
So what I would have done then is, if I look around, I kind of glance, and it's just this barren place, I would have dug into my pocket or maybe my knapsack and pulled out what would have been probably a very worn piece of maybe like red ribbon or something, just a trinket that I've picked up. And I would just kind of casually, as I was whistling, just kind of tie it into a nice little heart or something like that, and then pull it from behind the girl's ear, but not even really paying attention to her, not looking for any kind of acknowledgement even, but just like, and then I kind of just put it in her hand like, hey, here's a fun little thing for you, and then I just kind of walk around, just kind of looking. So I address her that way, just and do my thing.
She loves it, man. She's completely giddy. She even pauses in her running for a moment and then continues. I mean, Quentin Wreck Coppermist is the uncle I wish I had. You see in this settlement. You see, I mean, number one, you see her smile, but you also see these huts and longhouses everywhere with just smoke kind of billowing out of these central, what look to be chimneys. And she brings you to a ring of, what do you call that? It's like palisades, like wooden palisades. Not so much for defense or for battle because there are a few openings in them, but maybe some sort of protection just in case something might happen. But it's obvious that this place might not get attacked very much. You see this large longhouse in the very center, and on the front door is engraved in wood a large animal, an animal that might be feared, maybe. I'm gonna throw that. Hold on. D4 time, babies. Let's do it. I'm going to toss that to Tim. What animal do you see engraved on this wooden door?
A giant werebear.
A werebear. Wonderful. Let me write that down.
So the only way I could imagine it would look more like a werebear than a bear would be more humanoid, less of the broad, stout legs of a bear, less paws with the pointed, claws, and more of you could see like digits and shoulders and, legs and things like that. But you can clearly see it's like a roaring bear, rudimentarily.
Great. You approach the door and I don't know. Who opens it? Who goes in first?
You can go.
I would not. Yeah.
I'll go, but I also want to do like a nature check on just information about the werebear. Okay.
Okay, go ahead and roll a nature check while I flip through the monster manual. Take your time rolling that check, by the way.
Oh, I already rolled a 14 with a nature of 3, so they got 17.
Why couldn't you wait till now to roll your 4? So I could be like, nope, you know nothing, and neither do I.
And why did damn Tim pick some skirt?
Come on, Tim.
He's like, hold on, I was gonna say, he's like, hold on, I have to apply a template to the thing I had in the room.
Nice.
That little girl is now a werebear. Great.
No, I meant a goat. Didn't I say regular goat?
Regular goat.
Challenge rating 1/8 goat. Isn't that what I said?
Too bad for you, Tim. That it's actually the Lord of Goats, who is a CR9 demonic creer.
He's the goat, the greatest
terrifying.
of all time goat. That was lame. I can't believe I said that. What color is the bear on the door? Is it colored whatsoever, or is it just the woodenness, Tim?
I'll throw that to you. Mind if I throw that to Matt?
Throw it to Matt. Well, Matt's already described something.
Oh, well, then let's throw it to James.
James, what color is this werebear?
Well, it's carved into the wood. It's one of those odd sort of profiles, so you know it as a werebear because of the very specific way it looks, but it's not necessarily, it's not like a great picture. It's kind of one of those sideways, almost looks like it'd be on a coat of arms, but we all know that it's a werebear, and it's just to be feared.
Excellent. So I do believe Nymeria said she was in the front when she opened the doors Aragorn style.
I'm coming in. Make an appearance.
Put your pants on. We're coming in.
Honey, are your pants on? Just let you know.
You guys are just like my mother-in-law. You don't even knock.
You're not
Oh my God, Barker, you're a werebear in here.
And you're not wearing pants.
She's more concerned about the pants than the werebear.
Yeah, I think the pants thing would be scarier. It'd be like, oh, you're a bear, and you're not wearing pants.
Give me a minute. Okay.
Got him.
Can I just walk down the runway? Check it out. The T-flame?
Yeah, for sure. When you open the door, you actually find yourself face to face with a massive white bear just growling and drooling in your face, almost like guarding something. And then when it sees you, I would like you to roll. What is there an animal husbandry type of thing in D&D 5th edition?
Animal handling.
There's animal handling, Barker.
I want you to handle this
Awesome.
animal.
Okay. I got a 19 with a, what is it? The addition.
Yeah,
What is it?
Salin.
I don't know, the proficiency is 6 or whatever, so I got 25.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that I am losing nerd points for the 5th edition rule checks because apparently playing and GMing are two different things.
Well,
So-
I do that all the time where I still play Pathfinder too, so I'm always like, what is it called in 5th edition? Is it bluff or what is it?
Yeah.
So it's all the same thing. It's fine.
Well,
Sometimes I'm like,
having the same
go ahead and... What's that?
Animal
I was just saying,
husbandry.
James and I were having the same conversation. We were like, yeah, we should probably read up on this because we're always reading articles on Reddit and all kinds of stuff. And if you're reading 3 different RPGs, man, like you said, you can't keep it straight.
Exactly.
I'm like, okay, roll for use rope.
Oh man, that was my
Riddle.
favorite skill in 3rd edition.
Yes.
Use
Oh, man.
rope.
Use rope. There's no use sword, use pickaxe, use rope.
Use rope.
What is this, RuneScape? Okay, anyway.
Use toaster.
So, face to face, with a bear. Thank you, James. Face to face with this bear that's growling, but the minute it kind of sees you, it gets a sense of you. You can tell automatically that you have a connection with all creatures, and this one is no different. And it just goes and kind of steps back, and then you hear a voice behind it say, "Snookins, come away from the door. Snookins."
That's when Quint would say, under his breath, he'd say, "I would not have pegged that as a Snookins."
And Snookins does come away from the door, and you enter, and you see a large dwarven man standing in the middle of a longhouse, right in front of a roaring fire. He's flanked by pillars, carved pillars of the 7 pillars, to be exact, each carved with the great dwarven Khans, which you may presume as their names are engraved in dwarven runes upon the bottom of the pillars. The smoke is just kind of billowing out of this hole. It's probably, for all you longhouse people, whatever, I don't know, chimney, in the center of the longhouse. And he says, "My friends, please come in, join me. Oh, thank you, Hannah, for bringing me our heroes. Join me. Let me get more wine. Bring us more wine."
Quint would look at Orin, and he'd say, Did we say we were heroes at some point? Did I miss that part?"
And
I was whistling. I wasn't paying it.
Orin kind of has this look on his face, like since you guys have got here, he looks like somebody who has lost his keys or is looking for his car in a parking garage. Like he's just kind of looking around and like confused, and he keeps patting himself down, and he kind of looks up at you, and Pebble says, "We can't remember why we're here."
Oh, right, okay, well, at least that's 2 of us. I don't feel as crazy then. Did somebody say wine, though?
Oh, I did, of course. I'm sure it's on the way, but I'm sure your memories will be returning to you shortly. I'm surprised they have not already.
I would like everybody to type in a name of a character, some sort of NPC of your race, of not your race, whatever you want, into the chat box. But this man says, "Oh, cousin," he says, using the term given from dwarves to gnomes, looking at you, Orin.
"My friend, come, embrace me as cousins would. My name is Kanbaris."
And Orin kind of has this weird look on his face, but he comes forward with Pebble, and if this guy has his arms outstretched, like, Orin just kind of like steps up to him into hugging range, but doesn't hug him, just kind of stands there waiting for him to hug him.
And he does, and your arms may be stiff at your sides or just hanging there, and he just embraces you. And he moves to embrace the Dragonborn and the human and the Tiefling, and he's just, "Oh, you are amazing. Oh, I've never... Excuse me, my manners." And he takes off these fine goatskin gloves, and he tosses them over close to the fire, but not too close, and they land upon a bench. And he says, "I am Kanbaris," and he says this to the Dragonborn, to Gaharl, and then he looks to Nymeria and he says, "I am the leader of this settlement and one of the great Khans of Salin." And then he turns to Quint, and he says, "You and all of you are welcome in my home. Please join me by the fire, and I will fill you in on the specifics of your being here. How's Sandbox Stoneman? Sandbox and I, we went back quite a long time ago. Mr. What is your name?" And he looks at you, Gaharl.
You can call me Grim, and any friend of wine is a friend of mine. As for Stone Man, well, it's been quite a while since I've seen him, but, well, last I saw him he was still a dwarf, so I guess he's doing fine.
As we all are, and, well, I wish that were the case for all of us, I suppose. It is a matter of opinion, yes. But old Sandbox and I, we went back. He always hated me calling him that. Well, it doesn't matter. Come, come! And he moves over toward the fire, and he sits down, invites you to a seat, and he lights a large stogie. If you are any sort of familiar with the fine tobaccos of the East, this is the Endergreen Reserve. This is, top of the top, made by gnomes who know precisely what they're doing in the cultivation and harvesting of tobacco. And he just lights it up, and the smoke just mingles with the smoke from the fire, and out it goes through the chimney. I'm sure you're wondering why you're here.
Yes, I think... Oh, wait, I know this one. Hold on. We're supposed to do something. Hold on, it's been a while. Hold on. I'm supposed to... Wait, everybody. You said the thing where you welcome to the home. So we're supposed to say, correct me here if I'm wrong here. We accept your welcome, and we'll join you by the fire. Did I do it right? And don't lie. Don't lie. It's the custom, right? The Salin custom, right? With the dwarves and the fire and all that. You know, or is that a myth? God help me if that's not true.
No, it was true.
Okay.
I don't believe I've ever heard the translation outside of our dwarven tongue. Ushtakola paloshkunkenda. But it was a fine translation indeed.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your welcome.
No, anytime. I have spoken with Radrin, your lord, your local lord.
Yes,
and
yes.
You, the tiefling, what is your name?
Nymeria Forestwalker. Thank you for welcoming us to your hearth.
Of course. It is but what a friend would do. Omikal, your lady, she and I, to be completely honest, have never met. But I am sure she's splendid.
Yeah, she fares well, and remarkably has found a home within a human village, which is rather difficult, but good for her.
Interesting, interesting. And you, my cousin, Kalimbri, he and I, we have never met, but we have our arrangements in our relationship. And he motions over, and a massive cask of Endergreen Reserve just lands heartily upon a table, and he pours wines for everybody. And he doesn't even wait. He doesn't even wait for you to ask what's going on. He just jumps up and says, I have questioned all of your lords and lady, asking them personally, who is your best man or lady to come and assist me in my endeavors? I have sent them each 3 barrels of crayfish. Speaking of crayfish, I'm sure they're hungry. And he snaps, and some people run off. For your support, for your friendship, and he kind of glances at the sickle, at the kind of scythe weapon at Orin's side, and glances at... What weaponry are you holding, Gaharl?
Battle axe.
Yep, he would glance at that and say, I have the stomach for politics and fine wines. You, my friends, have the stomach for courage. And I am an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur.
Yes, that's the one.
Pebble offers up entrepreneur.
Thank you. Wow. What a marvelous creature. You are all fantastic indeed. They surely have sent the best. By the way, it's up to you with whether you think this, but it might be creeping upon you that they didn't send you here to be because you're heroes, because you're wonderful. They might have sent you here because they don't like you and they think you'll die.
they might have sent you here for all sorts of reasons. Maybe they just want you out. It's up to you to decide for your characters, and we'll unravel that later on. He says, I, my friends, have an idea, and you are the start of that idea. Come with me. And he kind of turns around, so you're not going with him anywhere, but he holds his hands up as if he's motioning towards an imaginary sign. You can picture in your mind, and he says, picture this, Adventurers Guild. And he has a huge grin as he turns around. Ah? What say you?
Sounds great, and don't mind if I do. And I take some of the what do you call them? Creel fish? Cree fish?
Cree fish from the Cree River.
Don't mind if I do. And I just take a couple of it's a little smoky. Very good. But go on about this. What do you call it? Adventurer's Grill.
I've been in the guild one other time, and they paid me well. Are you willing to pay us as well as they paid us? In wine or gold or whatever else you've got?
Well, first of all, for your friend, I'm sure we can arrange as many adventurers' grills as you would like. Humans. You and your jokes. No, it's fine by me. I am a happy dwarf to receive your humor. Payment. As for payment, soon Maror will become a beacon of life, a beacon of tourism. Those who would come to see the Underwood, those who would come to see the mines that lay within, and the mysteries of the winds of Salin. So, eventually, presuming that you do your duties of obtaining artifacts, discovering prime mysterious locations, and drawing new and fashionable tourists to Maror and the rest of Salin, after Maror, you will receive a share in the wealth, and you will be able to keep a home inside our newly built tavern. What say you, friends? Huh? What say you?
Is it possible to make an insight check to see if he really is just trying to make money on us, or if he is in league with our lords that aren't interested in our livelihood, or well-being, rather?
We can make an insight check.
Because as a dragonborn, I feel like he talks too much to say so little.
Okay.
So
Damn it.
22.
Sorry. Nice. He seems honest, but at the same time he seems slightly nervous. You see a quiver in his eyebrow and a bead of sweat. He is confident, so to speak, about your ability and his ability to turn this town into something great. But there's obviously, it's obviously hard times.
Okay, so I don't make it obvious that I notice this, but of course take note of those things, because I do feel that we can handle whatever it is he throws at us, but I keep it in the back of my mind that it may be beneficial for us not to succeed entirely.
And when he asks, "What say you?" Orin and Pebble exchange glances, and Pebble says, "Orin and I will need to talk it over."
I have to agree as well. I'm not too fond of this idea. And I don't actually say that out loud, but the thought of doing this to promote tourism to this place that I don't belong to, it just doesn't appeal to me. I can't help but look at him and cross my arms and say, what So what can you really provide us? What if I want none of those things? Because your town has nothing to do with me. I'm here, well, if your daughter, that little girl, needs a hero, what kind of job is that? What do you need besides us promoting tourism?
Okay, great. Well, first of all, I just want to apologize for my cat, who is at the door, asking, Dad, are you playing Dungeons and Dragons?
Was crying.
You thought it was my kid, right? I thought it was my kid at first too. I was like, oh, I'm a bad dad.
And I thought it was my cat, but I was like, my fiance's out there. It's fine.
I love that we were all ignoring our urgent responsibilities.
The innocent souls that are under our protection, we just are nah.
We're playing D&D. What else is more
Yeah,
important?
exactly.
My cats were playing with both of our dice earlier. They just decided they don't
This
usually
is-
have them out, so they were just touching them.
It was so cute.
I
Amazing.
know. That was Mara Jade.
I love that her name is Mara Jade. That is so awesome.
Thanks. Anyway, where were we? He looks to you and says, I am an honest man, and so I will be honest with you. We have fallen on difficult times. If you look outside, you will not know that you see but 1/3 of our former population of Maror. We have to do something. Salin is a very historical place. It's full of legends, full of beauty, but it's becoming absent, replaced by cold, dry winters. If I could have anything, it would be to see my homeland restored. So, whatever you would ask from me, I would give you, as long as it were within my power, my friends.
Nymeria seems a little uneasy, giving him a suspicious look. But seeing this little flash of emotion on her face, she can't help but feel a little bit of pity for him. And gives a stoic nod. We will come, well, I will tell you what I need in return at some other time. For now, I suppose I will help if my companions here are also willing.
I raise my wine.
He looks
and say,
to her companions. Go ahead.
Yeah, I raise my wine and I say, what say you, fellas? You want to be the heroes of Sir Salin or what? Maybe we'll get a verse in that song about us.
Right? The heroes of Sur Salin. It could be a new song, right? And he looks to Quint.
And at that point, you would probably see that Quint has, you could see a very well-crafted lute. It's covered entirely except for the neck that sticks out, and he's wearing it on his back. But you can see that it's beautifully carved out of a kind of a middle, not too dark but not too light wood, very ornate, very intricate, and you just see the handle. And Quint would kind of step up and say, well, you said it's your homeland, right? And what is a homeland but really just a land that's your home? And what I mean by that is your heart. It's big, and you're a man who I will help. I will help you, and I can't promise that I can melt the ice, and I can't promise you that I can make it warmer here. But I think we can probably make your homeland a bit of a better home.
He tries to avoid you seeing the glistening moisture filling his eyes again. You would have my things. Yes, my cousin.
Orin, holds up his finger, indicating one moment, and he gets up, and he moves over to the corner of the room, and for probably about 3 or 4 minutes, he stands and is looking at Pebble, and Orin doesn't say anything, but Pebble keeps saying, "Well, it'd be nice to have some money." "Well, he said he'd pay us." "I don't know." "Yes, he did say that." "Well, you should have been listening better." "No, I don't know. The others are doing it. I don't remember why we're here either." "Fine." And Orin comes back over with Pebble, and he's standing there with his arms crossed, and Pebble says, "We'll do it."
He shakes off whatever confusion he had from listening to the voice, and he says, "Well then, my friends, the first ever Adventurers Guild." And that's where we're going to take a 2-minute break.
Perfect.
Rad. Thanks everybody for watching so far. We got 21 people right now, which is cool. And I hope you're all enjoying this, and same with you guys. And I'm gonna go grab a bottle of water.
Very cool. I will also take this moment to intermit.
Now I'm gonna take my dog outside. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, for those of you still around, listening to our soothing tones of the winds of Salin, I'm going to be refreshing some comments here. Get to you in the comments. Let's take a look at what we got. I'm going to open up a can of energy. Snap. All right. Werebear or just a furry? Well, they didn't try for a perception check on that one, so they're not too sure. Let's see. What? Yeah, it's good. The Werebears were a series of teddy bears released in 1983 in the United Kingdom. You know what? The sad thing is I'm not sure if you're actually being sarcastic. That could be real. Incredibly. Oops. Glad you liked my shout-out to the main man. Rad. Quagmire means something other than Family Guy, but yes, Giggity has been a running joke in the chat box in this game. Epic. You're looking spiffy, Barker. Thank you. I wear a suit to work. I'm a teacher, so that's why I'm looking spiffy. And here's Matt, so I don't have to talk to myself anymore while replying to comments.
Hey, Barker.
Hey, Matt. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I inadvertently made the most adorable Dungeons & Dragons character of all time.
I love him. You know what? I really like Tim's.
Yeah. I'll just say that it's been a challenge playing this character because I have to keep reminding myself that it's not actually him talking, and it's been fun though. It's been a fun challenge, I'll say that.
Well, good. It's always good to try new things.
Yeah, exactly.
The teddy bears are real.
It was between this guy and the half-elven wizard concept that I had that is based on Robert California from The Office. So.
Wait, Robert California. Are you talking UK Office?
No, American Office. James Spader's character from the later seasons.
You know what? I've not seen the later seasons.
Oh, okay. Well, the later seasons are just so-so, but the character of Robert California is awesome. He's like this like super confident businessman who just like intimidates people because he maintains eye contact and is just very sure of himself and is sort of this like eccentric millionaire type person. And I had this idea for a half-elven wizard who had founded a like a potion making company in his early years and then had like given up his fortune and just gone off to have adventures because he was an eccentric businessman. And he would have sort of the same like voice and mannerisms as Robert California. He'd be kind of fun to play. So
awesome.
I'll play him at some point, but
yeah, I like the inadvertent characters, the accidentals.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, T20+1 says that he's getting a total Jay and Silent Bob vibe from Matt's characters. That's
nice.
Totally true, dude. I didn't even think about that. It is like a Jay and Silent Bob thing.
That's so awesome.
And I actually have I made Orin in Hero Forge, that miniature maker.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot I actually did that. I'll go ahead and screen share it here. It's kind of cool because even if you're not going to buy the miniatures, you can create a 3D model of your character. So.
Yes. I love that. I mean, that's just awesome.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot. All right.
I like it a lot.
Screen share here. My characters. Move this over.
You can hear my sugar glider running around in his wheel.
You have a sugar glider?
I do.
Dude, that's awesome. They're so cute.
He is adorable. His name is Pippin.
That's awesome. So this is
so
what
when he
Orin
bites me, I can be
like.
let me see.
I didn't have I don't have Pebble made, but this is what Orin looks like.
Cool. I assume Pebble looks like an owl.
Yeah, Pebble's just a tiny little pygmy owl, so.
Very cool.
I'm hoping at some point they'll add like animal companions, so you can have like a wolf or a dog like on the same base, or a bird on your shoulder or something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool.
For sure. For what it is, though, it's an incredible resource. It's got tons of stuff.
Oh, I know, and I didn't even realize that they had like sci-fi stuff and modern stuff too. Like you can you do all kinds of stuff.
Same here. I realized that accidentally.
Yeah, I was messing around with it one time, and I made a robot barbarian, and that was kind of cool.
Well, that's an interesting thing to come back to.
Yes.
Did I see a wireframe model of what looked like a dwarf?
Oh, that was my 3D model of Orin that I made using Hero Forge.
Oh, that's phenomenal.
Yeah. It's super awesome because it's intended for you to be able to make miniatures of your characters, but just using their modeling software, you can create like tons of characters with it and then have it for reference. So
that's amazing.
I'm definitely planning on ordering a miniature from them at some point, but it's kind of expensive.
What does it run?
I think it's like $30 for the cheapest option for one miniature. And it's because they model it and 3D print it, so. But
yeah, it's super customizable.
Yeah, it's really customizable. I'm actually glad I didn't though, because if I would have ordered a miniature, it would have been for Krith, my half-orc ranger, and he died a couple Saturdays ago. So.
Yeah, man, I was really sad to hear that, dude.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed about it, but.
You would never order a miniature for a character again.
Yeah, I know. We actually, one of the things we're trying to do in the campaign was we're trying to get back to this city that got taken over by this genie, and so the party's already talking about, instead of killing the genie, trying getting a wish out of the genie to wish back my character at the very end of the campaign. So he may yet live.
Yeah.
He went out like a champ, though.
So we're missing Cassie.
Oh yeah, where'd she go?
Hey, she decided to be like, screw this.
I don't know. On her screen, it shows that she's still. I don't know why she's not still here. Because I thought she just made it the profile. You're not in the thing anymore.
She should close it out and come back in. It probably booted her, but it hasn't told her yet.
Matt says that it may have just booted you, so you may just have to rejoin. Yeah, when we came back in, because we went to walk our dog real quick, the cat was like just walking off of it, like couldn't look any more guilty. I thought for sure all of our dice were on the floor or a dice bag.
You just complete destruction when you come back in the house.
Yeah, I think she managed to somehow turn it off.
Yeah.
Like she closed Chrome. I don't even know how a cat could manage.
Wow, that's insane. You should have left the camera on, because it probably would have been like just the cat's face just right there.
That occurred to me as soon as I came back in. I thought, man, if we would have left that camera on, they would have gotten the show.
And so he's like, when I'm gone for an extended period of time, if I'm gone for like 8 hours out of the apartment, I'm always sitting there thinking, what are the cats doing? What are they getting into? They're destroying something. I know they are.
Oh, everyone's back.
Oh yeah.
I think you have to turn your lower third back on.
They even turned my keyboard light on. They turned my keyboard light on. I don't know.
They walked all over it.
Yes.
You get out of here.
Kiara, don't you start, Missy.
All right. So how long have we been playing? Let's go back.
About
Maybe an
2
hour.
hours.
Really?
Yeesh.
Oh snap. Well,
Start at
okay.
9:30.
Interesting. Okay.
Barker, did you
well,
did you play 5 sessions long?
wait, hold on. You cut out a little bit there. What was that?
Oh, I was jokingly saying, did you do that thing that I do, where you plan one session that is actually 5 actually play it?
Actually, because of the your character's work in removing 45 minutes of combat from the ship encounter. Actually, I'm pretty much like I'm still trying to find the perfect place. Okay, where am I going to cliffhanger this thing?
I was thinking we were gonna fight those guys, so that was good.
One of the things, and for the viewers, one of the things that was requested of me before we started was that we'd get some tropes. You know, we want just a basic D&D game with some basic cliche D&D tropes that you just see in almost every single game.
Yeah.
So I decided I want to do that, but I want to give a new spin on things. Like, you know, I want a tavern, but I want it like in the sky.
Yeah, that was cool, dude.
Definitely enjoyed it so far.
I was like, has anyone seen the movie, oh shoot, what's it called? It came out a couple years ago and it wasn't that good, but it had Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in it, and they were like in a prison trying to break out. Lockdown? Okay. Who's seen that?
I have seen it. Oh, I'm embarrassingly admitting it to you.
I don't want to spoil it, but there's a moment where Sylvester Stallone thinks he's escaped from the prison, but then he hasn't, and it reminded me of the airship thing where you go up top and you're like, oh shit, we're on an airship. There's a moment in Lockdown that's kind of like that, and I don't know why, it just reminded me of that.
In response to EB081997, I could have just said EB081997, their question, how long will this series be? I just started a new campaign and I'm a little rusty with everything. This is definitely helping get my juices going. Well, first of all, good. That's awesome that this is helping in any way, shape, or form. The second thing is I have no idea. It really depends on whether the group enjoys it, whether they want to keep going, whether they like me. But other than that, I mean, it's pretty much up in the air. So... right, I think that the only, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, I'm pretty sure at maximum we're doing once a month. What's that? What was that, Tim?
My robot brother, everybody.
Oh, I didn't say anything. Did I say something?
About probably like 2 minutes ago with your internet connection.
Oh, God, no, I said yes. And you were talking about whether we were going to, play and how long, and I said yes. It also depends on how long we stay alive.
Oh yes, that too as well. I would like to do an old D&D trope of, as a GM, not trying to protect the characters.
Yeah.
So.
For a second I thought Tim meant in real life, and I was like, we're gonna play in this campaign until we die. I'm hoping to be around for a while.
Yes.
So
it's going to be about 4 sessions long. This just got dark, Tim.
We're gonna play this campaign for 60 years.
Yeah. Oh, you kids and your pencils.
Back in my day, we played on Google Hangouts.
Yeah. What? You didn't have a binder or retinal chip? Get out of here, old man.
Get out of here. Where do you go to school? Google Community College? Mountain Dew Middle School?
Mountain Dew Middle School. That was back when the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Boo. See what I did there? Oh,
you mean back when the Seahawks won their second Super Bowl in a row?
Yeah.
Oh.
Woo.
All right.
Any less.
I know. Matt's like, go sports!
Woo! Sport ball! Take the ball to the place where you're supposed to take it. And win some points. Win my favorite sport ball team.
I've always wanted to have I've always wanted to do a generic anthemic song. Like, to play in every arena. Where it's like, sporting champion, you're a champion.
Run the ball or the puck.
You should have lots of like whatever it is. Lots of like and or like things in there, like
yes.
Use your glove and or stick to hit.
Like a Mad Lib, just like use the
puck.
Insert.
We are the best at insert sport here.
Oh, there's your bridge. There's your bridge right there. It's like a breakdown. Okay, so yeah.
So do you guys want to play some Dungeons & Dragons?
Yeah, that'd be good.
Okay, great.
Please.
All right.
Matt, I like her every once in a while, sexy voice.
Sometimes I just
but
have to.
Sometimes I
just have to bring it down.
Which was the best part? You were like, no, actually, that's called the this and this check, and I was.
I have a blue eyeball mic, so for me to do sexy voice, I have to come up real close like this.
Give me the picture on your camera.
Those teeth, the
Look at my-
glowing green and blue teeth, and eyes.
Look at my
No,
look at my 8-bit eye.
I
Okay.
mean,
We just
that's
lost 8
perfect,
viewers.
perfect nightmare fodder for me tonight. Thanks for that, Tim.
Oh God.
No problem, bro.
Used to live with that guy.
All right.
Now you're stuck with me.
No comment.
Okay, so the Snookins kind of saddles up next to Nymeria and purrs. You never thought a bear could purr.
Awesome. I can't help but pet it. I love animals. Perfect.
You definitely recognize that this is not a werebear. This is a bear, but it's obvious, given the sigils surrounding the longhouse, that the werebear is the symbol of Kanbaris's holdings.
Yes. Awesome.
And he wipes away the moisture from his eyes and says, "You do not know what this means to me. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Of course, I said I have the stomach for wine, not for important strategic decisions, so I'm going to leave that to you. There are a few different ways you can go. And if you do not like them after I offer them on the table, you can, of course, go your own way. In the end, I am sure that Medicor will be a prosperous town, and you will be paid well." He gestures you to outside, and he gestures toward the distant crimson line on the horizon that you can tell is the forest. And he says, the Underwood. It is 3 days past. 3 days past the Prosper holiday. We call it the fall, when at once all the leaves fall from the trees. There's dancing, there's feasting, glorious merrymaking. It's 3 days past, and the leaves yet stand. It has been 4 years to this day since I have seen the ground covered in the beautiful redness of those leaves. We do not know why. Obviously, they are not falling. There have been rumors, but what good is rumor? And then he gestures kind of more away. He says, down that path, and it's not really a path, it's more like, a riverbank, is the town of Myra. My brother can be found there. His name is Kalo. We used to get plenty of traffic from Kalo's town of Myra. Plenty of people and children and trade. But again, it's been about a month since anybody has walked up that path. I do not know why, and because the river passes through the Underwood, which many people believe to be dangerous, I and none of my people, and of course none of the 2 people in my town guard, have ventured forth. Brings you back inside and toward a back door, and he pauses for a moment, solemnly, and he notes a boy in the corner wearing a kilt and kind of cleaning food that Quint had recently emptied of its crayfish, and he looks up and he's got a glistening face, and he sniffs and moves away. And Conbaris says, again, dark times. And he opens the door. And right outside, beginning at the doorway, moving toward the Anderwood, is just a set of bloody footprints that slowly, maybe 10 to 15 paces away from the doorframe, fade into just basic snow. This happened last night.
Nymeria, well, I'm very curious about the bloody tracks. And I would like to do, I suppose, that'd be a nature, or rather an investigation check, I suppose.
What are you trying to find out?
Like if is it human, is it gnome, is it dwarven, is it something else?
I would say nature. What do you think, Matt? Mr. GM. Oh, you're muted. You can't talk sensually when you're muted.
Damn it, my voice was all good for it, too. I would probably say either nature or survival for tracking.
Alright, survival, I guess.
Wait, so you're tracking it, or are you trying to identify the prints?
Identify.
For that, I suppose it would be nature, then.
I critically failed with a 1, and with the proficiencies and whatnot, I have a 4.
Bloody tracks where?
There's bloody tracks.
You're concerned.
I didn't even see those down there.
It actually seems like the tracks.
Damn it.
The tracks are sloughing away almost drunkenly. So whatever you might be able to find out has been frozen over and just ruined by a staggering being wandering into the distance.
It's the drunken dragonborn. Sorry, I'm gonna throw you in the box.
Pebble asks of the Khan, how far away is your brother's town?
2 days by foot. But of course, wherever you go, you will not need to be by foot.
Well, I can fly, but, well, Orin can't.
Well, my friend Pebble, was it?
Yeah, Pebble.
Pebble. You will take the reach.
Oh. And Orin's shoulders kind of slump.
Oh, cat. I see them smiling, and I'm like, oh, man, I did something they really like. No, they're laughing at my freaking cat that's like, Dad, I've told you 1,000,000 times to let me in there when you're playing D&D. Let me see the sugar glider. Please. Let me text my wife to be like, get the cat.
What is it in Battlestar Galactica? Get your gun and bring in the cat.
Wait, what? I've seen almost all of it. What is that?
And it's what Adama says to Starbuck. Like first time you see Adama, he says, "What do you hear?" And she says, "Nothing but the rain." And he says, "Grab your gun and bring in the cat." And then they that's something they say to each other like every once in a while.
Well, dang. Frack.
Sorry that I'm so lost, but it sounds funny.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
I figured Barker, as someone else who watches Battlestar Galactica, would appreciate it, but hey, you know, whatever.
I do. I'm sorry. I'm lame.
Do yourself a fan.
I think the cat's being catnapped now.
Being catnapped.
Yep.
So,
I've never heard that phrase used. I've never heard that phrase used literally.
Yeah.
I've only heard it used for a short nap. So.
Pebble looks up at the con and he says, "So, the way you see it, we have 3 tasks ahead of us." Oh, damn it.
Yes. He says yes.
He says, wait, I need to get my cat, please. Hold on.
One second.
This is the real circles.
That's the bear. Yeah.
Yeah, Snookins needs to go out. 1 second.
I know he says, the way I see it, you have one task in front of you. Okay, I'm sorry. 30-second break. Unbelievable.
Okay.
Come here,
Best game ever.
It's okay. You want to be in here? You can be in here. There, you little demon. Okay.
If everyone's showing their animals, here's mine.
Oh, this is mine.
I want one.
I want one.
Oh! No, son of a bitch.
Yep, and there she goes to look at the sugar glider and try to eat it.
Who's he?
Okay.
He's an 8-bit Galactus.
Okay.
What say you, Eater of Worlds? I say I'm a dog person.
You know what? You guys
All
continue.
cats shall be consumed. All hail Galactus.
One more minute.
Plus, I can eat as many as I want because I had Subway for lunch.
Oh, man. I wonder, how many viewers do we have now?
We actually reached
No, but
negative
when I was
viewers.
When I was putting my eye and teeth there, I refreshed and we literally did lose one person. We have more.
We have 27 people watching Barker chase his cat right now.
It was 24 when I went to look at comments, so we're doing great.
Genuinely, guys, stick around.
People. Seriously,
Stick around because there was a good
D&D.
there was a good D&D game going on. It was really one of my favorites so far.
Here's another cat.
Got him.
Do you guys live in an animal shelter? How many cats are there?
The dog is mine, and he lives with me, and the cats are with James.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
I feel like there's been like 15 animals that are just like all wandering around. I feel like that sometimes too because I have 2 cats, so it's always like there's too many animals in this damn place.
This is my bobtail. She loves me, and Sasha loves James, and she's not making an appearance right now, but...
Barker, somehow we have 27 people.
I was about to say we've gained 3 people since this madness of cats has begun. So
Just
you know what? Maybe I should
change the name of the video to Cat Chase, and everyone will come watch.
I will put a link. I will put a link in there that you can click on, and it'll go to that moment where the cat chase begins. So just for our cat fans, our cat-loving fans out there who are watching this for the animals and not for the D&D, which makes sense. You'll get it. You'll get what you want. He says, the way I see it, you have one task ahead of you. That is to do what you can to make this place important, whether it is through the use of magical items that people would want to come see with their own very eyes, or I'm very new to this, and my people leaving, as hard as that is, I can handle it. He gestures towards the back door where he showed you the footprints. But my people dying, that is something entirely different. So get on it.
Let's go.
Orin looks to his companions just kind of like, what do y'all want to do?
Quint would definitely kind of, kind of put his hand on the, the very end of the lute and say, yes, well, I have been looking for an excuse to use this, so I think I'd be game.
I say, let's go. Let's get this over with.
I've had blood in a drink, but my axe, well, she's getting mighty thirsty.
Well, I'm with you lot, me and Orin, so lead on.
Well, if we're taking the reach, I figured you guys wouldn't be too interested in getting back on that heap.
No.
Well, what kind of creature did this? Pebble asks of the Khan.
Could you have the stomach to see the body?
Yes.
If it'll help us find it, then yeah.
He brings you down into what seems to be a basement of the longhouse, and it's extremely cold down there. You begin to realize that this is used as some sort of fish locker. He takes you over to the person, the dwarf, and there's the way he's positioned. There's no way you could believe it's a dwarf resting. This is a corpse. And it's not only the massive gash of flesh removed from his throat. It's also the pale blue skin. The way his eyes are halfway opened. And the way he's been completely murdered by something. And if you'd like to roll a medicine check, you can check him out.
You know, not to break the tension of the mood, but when you said roll a medicine check, I thought, that's not a thing. And then...
it was.
Yeah, it is.
I got an 18 on that. Definitely curious.
So there's some irony there.
Yeah, I only got a 10, so...
I say break the tension all you want, man.
Well, here, this will help. I rolled a critical failure.
Yes,
Yeah, we
I
are
rolled
not rolling well.
I think he needs medicine.
I will say that, Quint,
Yeah.
you know that there's a dead guy there.
I don't even know
front of you.
that. Maybe I'm so bad. I'm like, wait a minute, is he alive?
Is he gonna be okay?
Everyone just kind of looks at you and says,
Bad. Is there anything we can do for him?
everyone just kind of looks at you and
Oh
says,
no! Is there anything
No.
we can do for him?
no. He starts giving him CPR. Save him!
Critical failure approximation of CPR.
Nymeria.
Yes.
Not only... the gash was most likely, the gash in the throat, most likely and almost obviously the cause of death for this dwarf. But more particularly, you notice how he's been completely devoid of blood.
Ooh. Could I suppose, do a nature check to see if maybe I can guess what did it?
Yep.
Let's see. I got a 15.
The camera just flashes to a creature standing in the snow, grasping at a deer, wrenching its throat backwards and tearing a chunk out of the throat, and then, not even concerned with the meat, just begins to drain it. And it looks toward the proverbial camera, and with blood just dripping down its face as it tries to gather as much as it can and take as much as it can. It's completely bald and completely pale. The eyes have no whites in them. And a grin peels back from the bloody teeth. This is a vampire.
So I look at the group and tell them that it's clearly a vampire that did this.
No. Oh, no. Tell me the rumors aren't true. Vampires, it is a myth. It is a legend. There's There is no such thing. There's a beast that has done this.
I would say that Quint is just pale white.
Pebble probably says, "It's a vampire! It's a vampire!"
Sorry.
No, Pebble's kind of like, his feathers are kind of ruffled, and he's looking at the body, and both him and Orin are kind of silent as they look at the body, and as Nymeria says, you know, it's a vampire, Orin kind of nods his head, sort of agreeing with her assessment.
Well, I don't know much about nature, the like, and animals that suck blood, but this was done with malice. And if there's anything Tritherium believes in, it's vengeance. So we can help you.
Tritherian. I have not prayed to this god since I was but a little boy. And doing it under circumstance. Tell me more about him. Well, you should watch The Provokers, is what you should say.
I know these guys.
One of them's super into Tritherian.
Like way too much. So Grim, he sort of almost recites. He tells you. He says, "Come wind, come rain, come sleet, come snow. My revenge will be swift, and your judgment slow." That's the prayer. That's the prayer the priest I studied under taught me, and that's the prayer I follow ever since he died. So, well, there's not much more you need to know than I'm going to murder whoever did this, and I'm going to do it quickly.
I am sorry for your loss.
Well, I bathe my wife in blood daily to make up for it.
I will have my finest Ventogator on the reach for you, all of you. Wherever you decide to go, be off. You will have your payment, your rest, and always a beautiful cold meal of crayfish on your way back. Or when you get back, rather.
Well, that's all well and good that we have the ship, but where are we supposed to go? Do you know where this vampire may have originated from? That's a good point, Orin. Yeah, what about the tracks? Maybe we could follow them.
They disappear, don't they? I mean,
Says the critical miss.
it wasn't a critical fail. That was not it. It was really pathetic.
That was a nature check, not a check for survival to track.
That is right. I just didn't know what it was.
Booyah.
Well, we could at least look at the direction that the footsteps were going and, well, see where they lead.
Sounds like something we can. Yes, indeed, we can certainly do what the owl suggests.
Thank you.
Sounds good to me.
So where are you guys headed? And how are you headed there?
I think the first thing we'd probably do is is head back up and look at the tracks and follow them as far as we can, and at least see in what general direction they're going, whether it's towards the woods or towards the next town. Sort of try to ascertain at least a general direction that we can point the ship if we are indeed going to take the ship.
Great. The woods are so large as a whole that they kind of line an entire eastern horizon from this town, and so yes, the tracks move toward the woods, as well as the path to Myra. Okay. But the tracks kind of yes. They move toward that red, ominous horizon line.
And if we wanted to, before we head out, Pebble has a pretty decent fly speed, and Orin is capable of perceiving through Pebble's eyes, so I could potentially scout out whatever direction we're wanting to head in and see if there's anything of note. Maybe like an evil-looking sort of, Ravenloft-style castle or something like that we could go to. I don't know.
Do it.
He's one of those players. I'll have the owl scout ahead. You know what, guys?
I know.
think I'm the owl scout
I
ahead.
know. I feel like one of those guys that's just like throwing a wrench in the DM's works. It's just like, well, I can detect magic anytime I want, and also I have an owl that can fly 120 feet around, so also I can see through his eyes. Is that okay, or
Is that cool?
I could use his passive perception.
I know. I'm rolling up this character, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like I'm just ruining everything. But
No, it's actually not at all. It's really good.
he is a tiny owl, so he can't fly very high, and he also is not good in inclement weather. But he could at least scout ahead a little bit.
Very cool. Very helpful.
That's one thing you've noticed about this area is there's not much weather at all. It's just it doesn't get much rainfall because it is a tundra.
Right.
It's just cold.
Well, so we're looking at these tracks, and Pebble says, well, I don't mind flying ahead a bit. I can fly pretty fast. What you say I head out about an hour, and then come back, and if I find something, I'll let you know.
I think that sounds amazing. Yes, that would be wonderful.
It's,
I could do that too. I can't help but boast a little bit. I can change into animal form.
And Pebble says, oh, you can? Well, you could come with me.
I don't know about that.
It's gonna be a lonely flight. Very well, fine.
Well, I think I could only do it maybe once a day. If you get tired and you have to come back, but there's something to scout, then please tell me.
So you can only fly for a little bit, but I'm always an owl, so I can always fly.
You get tired too, unless you're just a rock owl disguise.
I used to be a rock.
There's no reason to bring up the rock.
So Pebble...
Okay, sorry.
Pebble takes off and starts heading in the direction that the tracks were going, and I'm going to have him fly for about a half hour, and if he doesn't see anything within a half hour, he's going to turn around and come back.
Okay. Now, quick question. How much further are we going to go? Longer-wise in time? I don't know. I don't keep track of that.
What time is it?
It is 8:43 for you. I believe we started at about 7.
Okay, so
6:15.
probably not super long.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm in. Basically, I'm in. I have this baby monitor here, and when my daughter wakes up, I at least have to hold her.
Yeah, that's one of those
So,
things about
I can play
giving birth,
Yeah,
having a child, creating a human being. Responsibilities.
So it's like that's whatevs. But but realistically, I'm in for whatever is a good breaking off point to kind of dig into whatever you wanted us to get into.
Yeah, you're driving the ship, Barker. So if we come to a good stopping point here in the next little while, just let us know and we can break.
Okay, we'll do. You're flying about 30 minutes. You might even extend it to 30, 35 minutes. Because you see what looks like a clearing in this red forest. The leaves are almost like maple. Really beautiful. Almost like a poinsettia, if you know what that plant looks like.
Mm-hmm.
It's a red plant. Really gorgeous, but there's a clearing perfectly created around what looks like a pond. And the pond is sprouting this life. And I want you to have Pebble roll a perception check.
Ha! Natural 20. That's right, 23.
Wow.
Excellent. as Pebble is flying downward, kind of coasting toward this perfectly circular body of water, and seeing these flowers, these exotic, unheard of, whatever you could picture in your imagination, these plants that are kind of inverted flowers, or massive dandelions the size of a beach ball, just kind of sprouting out the edges of this pond. Pebble notices that he cannot see his reflection in the pond as he goes down. In fact, the pond looks more like the liquid metal Terminator type of material, like the chrome flowing and kind of waving with kind of subtle ripples and subtle waves, this thick mass. And you recognize this not as a pond or as a lake. This is a window. And you, above all else, have seen this before. You know directly where it leads. Where does it lead, Orin?
Am I making something up?
Engine broken.
Sure. Johnny on the spot here.
Sure. It would lead to the place in your background that you have been. Mother of God.
Okay, sorry. I'm not at 100%. So Orin is sitting there after Pebble leaves, and Orin sort of like just kind of bows his head and is sitting there with his eyes closed, almost like he's really concentrating. And if anyone tries to talk to him, he kind of like shoos them away. And after about 30 minutes, he just like bolts back and his eyes open wide, and he's kind of like scrambling, and he looks at everybody and just like gets up and starts running in the direction that Pebble went.
And you see Orin just kind of sprint out of this warmth of the longhouse and across the tracks. Do you follow him?
Yes.
Great.
I would say I would definitely be like, oh, right then. And I would consider myself a spry fellow. I think I could probably at least, I don't know if I can keep up with a gnome, but I would try with his little legs.
I got short little legs. I only run at 50 feet around, so you definitely probably catch up to me.
Nice.
And the last thing you hear from behind you is, "But wait, the reach!" And we'll go ahead and leave off for this time.
Everyone else takes the reach and just flies over Orin, and he's like, oh shit, I forgot about that. Oh man, that's funny.
That's amazing.
All right, Barker, good session, man.
Thanks, man.
Very nice.
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You know, I tried
Yes,
to.
thank you.
No problem. I tried to throw in the token combat, but
Sorry, man. I didn't know. I
Tim,
never played a bard.
Late, you show up late. You nix the combat. I can't believe you, dude.
He's such a tabletop
man.
terror.
He is a tabletop terror.
Tabletop terrorist. No.
Tabletop terror.
We just
Tabletop terror.
It's not a Google Hangout game unless somebody sings that song.
It's also not a Google Hangout game unless someone says, go join the RPG One Shot group on Facebook, everybody.
Oh, come on,
Where's Juice?
Yeah, where's Juice?
Yeah,
Where's Juice? Make sure good.
And if
Tabletop
you're
one
not,
group.
for our viewers, if you're not in the RPG Brigade, hit up Facebook, look for the RPG Brigade, and join up. It's just an awesome group of people that are like-minded in their just nerdy, creative, imaginative ways, and tons of cool topics up on that. And through that, you'll find just a spree of other cool groups to join, such as the Tabletop One-Shot group, which is dedicated to getting people together to play in one-shot games. And you're welcome, Juice. I believe you owe me like $2 right there.
At least 10 internet points.
Or one hot and ready.
Or one hot and ready. Or alternatively 12 barkers, which is equal to one hot and ready.
I have a conversion table for all my barkers.
Isn't one hot and ready like $200?
That's like 20 hot and readies, you guys. I will also say, if people are interested, we're also in the planning stages of the next Brigade Con. I know a lot of people are interested in figuring out how they can get involved, and we're sort of already kicking that off. So if you're wanting to, we need help with it. So
you're all completely bonkers.
Yeah.
We wouldn't be in this game if we were.
And if you are interested, I think there's a few of us who are heading it up this year. Just tag me or Matt and Barker. Just tag us in a post in the RPG Brigade group, and we're looking for able bodies.
We're looking for volunteers.
For sure. Do you guys want to go around in a circle like we do at college and introduce ourselves? Like in college? That's what we do in circles?
Absolutely. Oh my god.
You mean outro-duce ourselves.
We'll pass our introductions to the left, per se. Go ahead, Cassie.
Okay. So yes, this is Cassandra or Cassie. Thanks for joining us. Fox Cunning Trickster. And I played Nymeria tonight. I don't know what else to say, but thanks for joining.
James.
All right, so as all 24 of you noticed, I did about 3 different accents and 4 different voices. I think I finally landed on one by the end, so next time hopefully we'll have something where I was kind of feeling it out, so that was interesting. But yeah, other than that, I'm very excited to murder someone. I was hoping to, just kill everybody on an airship, but Bard
Tim.
So other than that, yeah.
But the Bard stepped in.
Yeah, look for Tim and I and a few more drives to 7-Eleven with Bedhead, and that's just
no
the
teeth.
channel now. So, all right, Tim. Yeah, no teeth. All right.
So I will confirm that Matt Click is correct. I did lose my teeth eating an Arby's roast beef sandwich that was 2 years old and had petrified. It had scientifically it had reached the definition of petrification.
I thought
but
you
yes,
just got stabbed in the mouth by 2 chopsticks.
It was 2. Yeah, it was actually it was 2, and they weren't pointy end out. It was the fat ends.
Oh,
right
that hurts, man. The fat end hurts.
The fat end hurts. And that's what she said? Did we make it the whole session till just now?
Just now.
Actually, I just want to point out that James just mentioned bedhead, so I really held on to my tongue for that one.
Fair enough. But I don't know if anybody else also saw James's 3/4 panel title. He is Tabletop Lazy Face. I don't know if anybody noticed that. So you could see how this partnership's divided up. Reason why I was late.
80-20.
The reason why I was late is because I was trying to get my guitar to work with my sound on my computer. That's why I wasn't working, because I was gonna do like bard music,
dude.
Like actually like. Like cool. I'm gonna try to get that working. I was gonna wait and save it as a surprise, but if there's another
robot,
yeah,
issue.
What?
Yeah.
We also went the whole session without Tim being a robot.
And I had it working, and then It all farted out.
Did it? Okay. But
Dude,
you know,
that would be awesome if you could get it working though.
Yeah, and I think every time you cast like a combat spell, you should plug it into some like hardcore.
I thought it'd be cool.
You'd be like,
I did. Wild stallion.
I think if you once you cast like a level 9 spell, you play Eruption.
Oh my god.
So that was, yeah, dude, I'm like, that was my plan. That was my plan.
Oh my gosh.
We liked hearing about it too.
There you go.
And I bounce it over to you, Matt.
Oh, yes. I was Matt, and I still am Matt. I was playing Orin and Pebble, and I had a lot of fun. I can't wait to play again. I hope we can play again soon. And the next time you see at least some of us together again is going to be February 22nd, when the Provokers kick off our second season of sorts. So I'm really looking forward to that, and I should probably start planning that session. So
we're really gonna jump the shark in this season.
There's gonna be jet skis.
Yeah.
The next
Literal
session
shark.
is gonna open with a jet ski chase.
Is an ARC do?
Yeah,
Yeah, an
exactly,
ARC.
exactly.
Thank you. And his channel is A Fistful of Dice.
Oh yeah, I run a YouTube channel.
And, you know, it's weird. I'm pretty sure, like, 99% of the people that sub to my channel are sub to yours. So, way to pick up that remainder. But, no, check out all the channels here. They're awesome. And my name is Barker, obviously, from BeABetterGameMaster. In the future, I hope to have some videos, assorted videos every month about kind of the preparation that goes into this game. This game was almost entirely improv past
That's awesome,
the
dude.
airship. But you know, leave some feedback in the comments below. In the future videos, what I would like is for you to, not future game videos, but the future preparation videos, you'll be able to leave some tips as to what you want to see in the plot, because these guys aren't going to see it, so you can say whatever you want, because they're trustworthy and they're nice people and they're not going to watch ahead of time.
That's true.
I appreciate tips. This is my first time doing kind of like a first-person roleplay, so feel free to send me a message or something. This is definitely fun, and is there any idea when we're going to do this again, or are we going to just discuss that later, I suppose?
I will set up a doodle scheduling platform for you friends. Oh, Tim's back.
Yeah, I want new internet.
Yeah, we...
That was perfect timing.
Oh my goodness.
James,
want
you're
new
in charge-
Yep.
James, you're in charge of showing him the feed after this.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, but-
absolutely. Every time I show him, I'm
Right,
like, hey, did
dude.
you see that part? And he's like, no, I dropped for that part. And I'm like, you are killing me.
I feel like we should have a language in the game that is Tim when his internet is, and it's just, hey, dude,
And
see you,
yeah.
God,
That's
what you think?
that's Hobgoblin.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always funny because
Hobgoblin.
it comes back in right at the end of whatever he's saying, so it's always like silence for like 30 seconds in, and then I ate like 12 hot dogs. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's where it ends. It's always like, yeah, so that's my story. It always
That was
ends
great,
perfectly.
Tim.
Thanks, man.
That's hilarious. Oh, yeah, I think it's actually coming through. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
I can hear the strings. I don't know if I can hear the actual sound of it.
Oh,
No, I hear we're here.
I gotta figure it out.
Also, for what it's worth, Tim, I do think your video and audio were a little bit better this time. I think it's definitely still hampered by the internet, but you weren't as like jittery as you usually are. So.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. James made the comment that I probably have a really old modem.
Oh
Not
yeah.
Not probably. He has a really,
No,
really.
it is.
I have a like.
Also,
you have to
I don't know if
prime
you're-
it. You have to prime it before you turn it on. Like it's.
Gas
You know.
power. God, I gotta play this game on Google Hangout.
Also, I don't know if you're hardwired in or if you're wireless, Tim, but when I plugged my computer in straight to the router, it helped so much with my bandwidth problem that I was having.
Yeah, I need to do that. I need to run a long cable.
Like, that's what I have, is I just have like a 50-foot Ethernet cable that I run from the router out in the living room in here, and I just unplug it when I'm not using it, so...
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Do it to it, man. I bet it'll help a lot.
Yeah, so no more jibber jabber gibberish.
Old Tim jibber jabber.
But it's always the same
Jibber
face.
jabber.
Your face doesn't change. It's always like. Open it.
I know a few times your face is frozen, Tim, and it's been like.
It's never like this. Thank you all for joining us, and thank you especially for the 21 people still watching this nonsense.
That is insane.
It is absolutely insane. Seriously.
Oh, shout out to Josh. Josh, if you're watching, he's the dude that made the Provokers poster.
Oh,
and he
dope!
and he actually has a YouTube channel I wanted to give, so anyone who's gotten to the end of this will know that check out Dice Roller Josh on YouTube.
Yeah, Josh is a great guy, and he's his channel is starting off with a bang, so definitely go check him out.
Awesome.
All right, guys, when we sign off, everybody's got to do the Barker. Everybody's got to do the Barker profile picture with that he set us on the...
Okay.
Here,
Okay.
hold on.
Okay.
Oh, that.